Wake up, Hugh, it's time to go. Grab the leash, we're hitting the road. Got my paws ready to roam. This world ain't gonna explore alone. I sniff the air, I chase the breeze. Every trail's a mystery. Cooper's adventures follow me. Caves and woods and history. Ghost towns, whispers, secrets low. Together we're the stars of the show. Abandoned barns with creaky doors, haunted halls and mossy floors, fishing poles and a camping fire, a life for freedom I inspire. I wag my tail, I lead the way, every step a brand new day. Cooper's adventures follow me, caves and woods and history, ghost towns, whispers, secrets low. Together we're the stars of the show.
Welcome back to the channel, friends. This week's adventure, we're going to continue the hunt on the Oregon Trail. Last time, we went ahead and did the Massacre Rock and Register Rock, which are very, very important historical places. This one here is also very important, and also was one of the more dangerous parts of the trails. We're here in Glens Ferry, Idaho, at what's called the Three Islands Crossing. Now, this here is where our pioneers actually crossed the Snake River to continue along the Oregon Trail. Now, they would come from over here in the east, right through here, down the hill back here behind me, and then over and across the Snake River. I'd like to read to you just some information from ChatGPT, and I'm also going to read an excerpt from an actual pioneer that crossed this river. As pioneers headed west on the Oregon Trail, they reached the Snake River. The three-island crossing was among the most important and dangerous crossings in Idaho. The crossing got its name because there are 3 islands in this part of the Snake River. The trail users would drive across the river in stages, cross from the southern bank to the first island, then from that to the second island, and so on, including across the northern branch. This allowed somewhat more manageable stretches rather than trying to cross the full width of the Snake River in one go. Now, this crossing was a risky business. Water levels, currents, hidden drop-offs, and swift flows would make crossing very dangerous. Wagons would tip over. Teams of animals could be swept down the river, and people did drown making this crossing. And for the excerpt, on September 11th, 1843, William T. Newby described crossing. First, we drove across a part of the river 100 yards wide to an island. Then, over the northern branch, 75 yards wide onto a second island. We carried as many as 15 wagons at one time. The water was 10 inches up the wagon beds in the deepest of places. That just shows exactly how dangerous this particular crossing really was. Even today, the Snake River area in this area is quite dangerous, even with the gas combustion motor boats. Now, we're going to do 3 different locations for this video. One is right here because this is the actual location of the crossing. We're also going to go over to Three Island Crossing State Park, which is just dripping with history of this crossing and Oregon Trail. We're also going to go ahead and visit the Glens Ferry Museum, which also used to be the Glens Ferry School way back in the day. And that's based mostly about the Oregon Trail and this crossing and all of that. Now this crossing here was used right up until 1869. And that's when a ferry was actually built to transport our pioneers across the Snake River, which made it so much safer and easier than trying to cross it through the river. So we say we go ahead and we get this adventure started, and starting it right here with these placards. Sorry to interrupt your video. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you to all of my viewers and all of my subscribers. I do greatly appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the content that me and Cooper are creating, I would greatly appreciate if y'all would be willing to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button. That way you'll get informed every time me and Cooper post a brand new video. Our videos are going to continue to evolve as we go along. I am fairly new at this, and I'm getting new equipment every time. I'm getting new software and new ideas on how to make the videos. So if you would be so kind as to leave a comment and a like, just letting me know what videos you like and what could be improved upon. That would be greatly appreciated and help me and Cooper in understanding our viewers better and help us to create much better videos for all of you to enjoy. I have recently started a Patreon page, and that I want to just give you guys some extra footage, maybe some B-roll, some exclusive footage, different things just from our daily lives and stuff like that. Now the proceeds from the Patreon are going to go towards my video expenses. And those include things like new equipment, better equipment, travel and fuel to get to different locations and better locations, and different things like booking fees and video fees and permits to record at certain places, which will also allow us to give you guys better, more phenomenal content. I do have a link to the Patreon in the description, so if you would like, you can pop on over. Now, any donations would be greatly appreciated, just to help us film better content for you guys. So yeah, what do you say we go ahead and get back to our video? Again, me and Cooper greatly appreciate you watching our videos. And here we go with our placards here. This one here describes the temperatures and the actual crossing itself and how difficult it was. And this one here also delves into it, including some excerpts from actual people that crossed this particular section of the river. right here is that embankment that they would have to traverse down. And they would go over. Let's see if I can find it. So that's bank of the river. Cross the bank onto that island. On to the next section of the river, onto the second island, and then onto the third, and across the main section of the Snake River. And it is just a beautiful area for them to have crossed. Can you see everything back there?
Yeah.
In regards to this crossing, and an excerpt from an actual pioneer that made this crossing. As pioneers headed west on the Oregon Trail, they reached the Snake River. The three-island crossing was among the most important and dangerous crossings in Idaho. The crossing got its name because there are three islands as part of the Snake River. The trail users would drive across the river in stages, cross from the south bank to the first island, then to the second island, and so on, including across the northern branch. This allowed somewhat more manageable stretches rather than trying to cross the full width in one go. It was risky business though. The water levels, the currents, and drop-offs, and swift flow would make crossing very dangerous. Wagons could tip, teams of animals could be swept away, and pioneers could be drowned. And here's the excerpt from one of our pioneers. On September 11, 1843, William T. Newberry described crossing. First, we drove over a part of the river 100 yards wide onto an island. Then over the north branch 75 miles over.
I wonder if they're talking about that first island right there and then the second one.
Yep.
But there's not really any trails down there.
The way it's showing is like right here. It's showing that they came down, circled over to that point, crossed to that first island, crossed to that second, onto the third, and then across the big part. Welcome to the joys.
Eat your ice.
Alright, I'm about to start recording.
Okay. Just giving him some ice.
Welcome back to the channel, friends. This week's adventure, we're going to continue the hunt on the Oregon Trail. Last time, we went ahead and did Massacre Rock and Register Rock, which are very, very important historical places. But this one here is also extremely important and possibly no, it's not.
Coop, Coop. Want a drink? Coop, Coop.
Yep, we got audio.
I don't hear anything.
These are honeybees, not wasps.
Did you get enough? Coop. Did you get enough? Okay. He was getting all thirsty.
And here we go with our placards here. This one here describes the temperatures and the actual crossing itself and how difficult it was. And this one here also delves into it, including some excerpts from actual people that crossed this particular section of the river. Right here, that embankment that they would have.
Come on, Toopy. Get in, Bubba's. Good boy.
And here we are, folks. We're at the Three Island Crossing State Park. And our first very interesting feature. But first, we've got a placard. Now we'll go on to our little feature here. It looks like we have a center, information center or something down there that we'll go into in a minute. We've got a couple placards here detailing the Oregon Trail and the Three River Crossing. But the highlight is some actual wagons that would have actually crossed the Snake River at this crossing, as shown in these placards. Unfortunately, this is one of those look but don't go past the fence type situations. If we remember from that excerpt in our intro, the water of the Snake River would have come up 10 inches above the bed of this particular wagon. So this is just like the wagons that would have crossed. So we say we hop back in the putt-putt and head on down to the next attraction. Okay, so here we are, folks, at the Information Center here in the Three Islands Crossing State Park. We do have permission to film inside and look at a bunch of the historical items. We're going to go ahead and start this off right here. Another wagon that would have crossed the Snake River here. And this one doesn't have a fence, so we can get right up close to it. And Cooper's just bathing in the shade. And it's hard to tell if this one actually did make the crossing or not, just because of the weathering on it. There's a very good chance it probably did. An inside look at it. The only bad part is they don't have anybody on staff at the moment available to do a guided history tour of this information center. But if we can handle it, we're going to attempt to hike down to that dock down there and see what that's all about. So we say we pop inside and start our investigation in there.
What's that, Jim?
Yeah,
my girls know better.
One different bird, fish and plant and other animal species along the way. We got a wolf there. Now, something to think about, especially for you women. This was the fashion of the ladies that would have been on this trail, walking alongside their husbands and their horses. Here would be an average setup for a family to take with them in their wagon along the trail. Now, something to think about, especially for you women. This was the fashion of the ladies that would have been on this trail, walking alongside their husbands and their horses. Here would be an average setup for a family to take with them in the wagon along the trail. Some of the day-to-day life implements that the pioneers would have needed to come along their path. It looks like this was a bunch of the Native American equipment of the Native Americans that have been on the trail. I do believe this section here is more for the more for the Native American peoples that would have been inhabiting this area. Typical desert teepee for this area.
There's a man by the name of Paul Kelly who says Oregon will become the loveliest country on earth when white men get out there and improve. Well, I allow the United States has the best right to that country, and I'm going to make them get out there.
We have a packing list here that the trail goers would have had to pack for. All the things that they would need. Shall we see what we can outfit our wagon right here with for different dollar values and what we can get for different dollars? Let's go ahead and start with a $700 wagon. And that's about all you would get for a $700 wagon packing. Now let's see what a $1,000 is, which is $20,000 in today's money. Quite a substantial amount more for our wagon trip. So now let's take a look at a $1,500 wagon setup. We would have had absolutely everything we could have possibly needed for our trip. Including some comforts. So here we have a wagon setup.
A new ground scooter costs $60 to $90, so many immigrants have their farm wagons adapted for the trail. The wagon was about 4 feet by 10 feet and sturdy enough to carry a family's goods over thousands of miles of rugged terrain. At 3 Island Crossing, the wagon also had to become a boat, so the sidewalk slanted outwards to keep river water out. The cloth covering, the bottom, was a double thickness of heavy cotton or canvas, waterproof with linseed oil. Drawstrings allowed the ends to be pulled together, giving privacy and sun protection against dust, wind, and rain. Pockets sewn into the cover added extra storage. At least 2 pairs of oxen were needed for the trip, with as many additional teams as the family could afford. Horses were expensive and unsuited for heavy, long-distance hauling.
Is that 3 Islands
One
Crossing
out of every 10 immigrants who
that we
risked
saw?
died
Our
on the
intro.
trail.
One had the oddest feeling
And right
being on
here
way to such lonely places.
is where we were
It
when
made
we
no
videoed
difference
our
when I was
intro.
gone. It was the thought of going on.
And right here
And unsuited for heavy, long-distance hauling.
is that 3 Islands
One
Crossing
out of every 10 immigrants who
that we saw in our intro.
One had the oddest feeling
And right
being on
here
way to such lonely places.
is where we were when we videoed our intro.
It was the thought of going on without him.
Narcissa Whitman was one of the few first Euro-Americans to cross the continent. In 1836, she, her husband, Dr. Marcus Whitman, and fellow missionaries Eliza and Henry Spalding helped blaze the Oregon Trail. The Whitmans established a mission near the site of Ferry.
Faces of the past. And this is. Oh, it's a copy of the treaty.
Copy of what?
A treaty.
Oh. That's a real teepee.
That is.
I used to have one of those
What?
washboards.
Oh.
Washboard. There you go, Aaron. Shake his hand.
So have you taken any stuff, right?
I can't. I tried to, but it like messed up on me.
Well, I got the video, so I can do a quick walk back through and do the picture.
Said you guys had it for her?
That's you. I know exactly where I set it.
How'd you do?
Pretty good, pretty good. Talking to the still frame shut off and she doesn't know how to turn it back on.
I'm not camera savvy.
Really see your day.
Yes, same to you.
Are we able to hike out to that dock thing that's out there?
Yeah, there's a trail that goes down to the old ferry down there. You can pick the trail up right out here if you go to the right there.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's the old ferry landing, correct?
Yes, that's where, yeah, because you can see that where
That
the cable
dock-looking
was,
thing is?
on the other side, there's a place where the cable,
Okay.
where the cable they had to go across and that.
All right, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's hot.
I know I am getting pretty.
You wish.
Actually, yeah, I know.
If I see a snake, I'm gonna scream like a girl.
Well, you should scream like a girl because you are a girl.
Who says?
Well, you should scream like a girl because you are a girl. According to the young gentleman behind the counter, this dock down here is the actual no, still going.
Oh, I didn't.
This down here is the dock looking thing. Is the actual crossing for when they put the ferry in. And they no longer had to use the Three Islands crossing trail to cross the Snake River. According to the young gentleman behind the counter, this dock down here is the actual...
Aaron, this one went off.
No, it's still going.
Oh, I didn't see the light anymore.
This down here is dock looking thing. Is the actual crossing for when they put the ferry in. And they no longer had to use
The trail.
Islands crossing trail to cross the Snake River.
Want some underwear? Your pants or something?
Oh, there's a little girl's sweater.
You're gonna have to carry my ass back out of here.
This isn't even really a hike. This is just a walk. You should have been with us when we did Mount Harrison. Now that was a hike. So you think this dock is original?
Maybe. I don't know, it's almost 300 years old.
Honestly, it looks like it could be. The old cable that would pull the ferry boat across with all the wagons on it. Really informational, talking about the Snake River ferry boats. A wagon, 2 horses, mules, or oxen would have been $1.50 to cross. We do have some original cabling. And cross beams. Now if we look down here, you can kind of see the cable going down to the Snake River. Some other little metal artifacts. Now if we look across the river, all over there, we can see the other cable tower. And the boats would have come right up in here.
Are you stuck? Are you stuck? Come on.
You're gonna do your camera now. And here is the original docking on how to get the wagons onto the river ferry boats. We do have a sign here, but it's very, very, very faded. Maybe some of y'all can screenshot it and enhance it, bring all the wording out. Yeah, I'm actually thinking this might be one of the actual ferry boats. Where do you think you're going?
Maybe because there's an anchor right here. It's wide enough to put a couple wagons on there. At least 4.
And then someone would probably stand right here and sit and... Oh my God.
What?
Hold that. It still turns.
He's going for a shade.
Alright, let's hit back to the car. While we're out here in Glenn's Ferry, we were driving around trying to find cool spots, and we just happened to cross this little abandoned gem. We're not entirely sure what it was, but there is remnants and evidence of structures that used to be here. And this here appears to be a giant hopper of some kind. With 3 different bays to push stuff into. And a silage of some kind. So we got bonus footage for y'all. We'll walk down around to the front of this path and take a look at the actual building and what's left of it. Now, I already did scope it out first, and there are no trespassing private property signs. And we have a wide open door. So it looks like 2 of those hoppers drop down to a conveyor belt here. That goes up here, and something gets added from that and put into a truck. So we're going to say we go in and take a look. We have big tankers of stuff here. A gallon needed for something, along with a hydraulic shut off. I'm not even going to pretend to know what any of this is. But at the very top right there, we have a little thing that says cement. We have the control panel here. And a window we can see what the hopper is doing. No electricity on now. So let's walk over to the other little building shed here. And we started our little adventure of this place up there. It looks like the third bay to that hopper up top comes down into this building. And there really isn't much left. It does not look like there is a way in to this one. Other than this big old honking garage door. I mean, it is unlocked. I could try sliding it open, but we'll climb this little hill here to get back up to where the car's at. As we can tell, a bunch of most stuff's still sticking around here. I am, however, going to watch my step, because that's the last thing I need is tetanus. So yeah, bonus exploration for you. Good thing that